Welcome to another adventure with Ali. This is my YouTube channel, Literacy Adventures with Ali. I hope you have been enjoying other adventures with me related to literacy and the English language. In today's adventure, we are going to talk about communication skills. Communication skills are essential, important, and imperative no matter which background or which field you belong to. Doesn't matter what profession you are in, communication skills are important both in your professional life and to excel in your personal life as well. Communication could be verbal, which is spoken, it could be written, which is text message, email, correspondence, or it could also be non-verbal, which means body language. Depends on how you stand, how you look, how you speak to people, the way you behave. Everything comprises non-verbal communication. In today's adventure, I am going to talk about all forms of communication in detail. I hope you enjoy today's adventure and will join me in my next adventure as well.
The art of communication is the language of leadership. Remember, no matter which field you are in, if you want to be a leader in your profession, then you would have to master your communication skills. The biggest communication problem is that we do not listen to understand, nor do we listen to learn. We listen to reply. What is communication? Communication is defined as the process of passing information and understanding from one person to another. How do we communicate? We communicate in different ways. We communicate through writing, through speaking, through listening, and through body language. So let's first start with guidelines for effective verbal communication. The very first guideline, as far as verbal communication is concerned, is that one should try their best to speak in standard English. What is standard English? Standard English is the English that is globally, internationally accepted as one standard of the English language. I have recorded one entire video, one entire adventure on the differences between standard and non-standard English, formal and informal English, colloquial and slang English, and so on and so forth. So please watch that video to get a deeper understanding of what standard English is. The next guideline for effective verbal communication is to speak clearly. Do not mince your words. Do not beat around the bush. Do not chew gum when you're speaking. Just speak as clearly and crisply as possible. The next guideline is speak at a good audible volume. Some people speak very softly, which is inaudible. Some people speak too loudly, which is harsh to the ears. So please try to speak at a volume that is audible, clear, but yet not too soft, not too loud, somewhere in between. The next guideline is speak fluently at a moderate pace. Some people speak too fast, some people speak too slow. You need to find a moderation in between so people can understand you. The next guideline is to have a respectful tone of voice. Remember, tone is the manner and way in which you speak. 10% of conflicts are due to difference in opinion, and 90% are due to wrong tone of voice. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. You may actually greet someone, good morning, which is a wonderful greeting, but if your tone is not right, the other person actually end up feeling insulted or offended. For example, good morning. It's still good morning. It's a wonderful greeting, but it's the way in which I said it, the manner in which I said it. My tone was not polite. So be very mindful of your tone, that it's respectful and friendly. The next guideline is keep it simple. If you know a lot of fancy vocabulary words, that's fantastic. But you need to be very mindful of who you are speaking with. If you are speaking with someone whom you know does not share the same vocabulary bank as yourself, then it's not polite to use vocabulary or use a language which you know for a fact the other person will be unable to understand. So try your best to keep it as simple as possible, especially depending on the audience. And remember, the person that you're speaking to, you should speak at their level. The next guideline is to maintain eye contact with the listener and avoid distractions. So, when you are speaking with someone, it's very disrespectful if you are constantly checking your mobile phone or looking at the clock on the wall, or if you are distracted constantly by something that is happening in the background behind the listener. So, the most respectful thing to do is to make eye contact with the person whom you are speaking with and look at them as you are speaking to them. The next guideline is be assertive and expressive with a positive attitude. Remember, there is a difference between being aggressive and being assertive. Nobody likes talking to someone who is aggressive, but there is nothing wrong with being assertive. It shows confidence. At the same time, you need to be expressive and not emotionally dead when you're speaking to someone. And you also need to have a positive attitude, a happy attitude. The next guideline is check for understanding. So when you are speaking with someone, and let's say if there are some distractions, you are unable to complete your sentence, or someone's phone has rung, or there is any other distraction, even when, let's say, there is no distraction at all, even then, you should check for understanding and check with the other person if they have understood what you were trying to communicate, especially if there are important instructions that are being communicated at work. So make sure that the other person has understood what you have said. Now let's talk about guidelines for effective listening. The first guideline for effective listening is active listening. What is active listening? Active listening is to listen to someone absolutely attentively. When you are listening actively, you are not paying attention to what is going on in the background. You can hear the fan in the background in the room. However, you're not listening to it. You can hear it. There's a difference between hearing and listening. So when you are doing active listening, you are paying full attention to the speaker, your undivided attention, and your entire focus is on what the speaker is talking about. The next guideline for effective listening is listen with the whole body. Whole body listening. Whole body listening is when you are listening with your eyes, with your heart, with your mouth, with your ears, with your brain, and even with your legs. For example, if someone is speaking to you and you are constantly tapping your feet, do you think that's respectful? Do you think that sign of restlessness communicates well to the speaker? Doesn't it show to them that you are bored and you don't want to listen to them? That you are uninterested? Therefore, make sure that your eyes are not droopy, you don't look bored with your face, your legs are not moving, and you are actually listening with your whole body to the speaker. The next guideline for effective listening is maintain eye contact with the speaker and nod or smile every now and then for reassurance. So, listening and speaking is a two-way street. It's not only the responsibility of the speaker to maintain eye contact with the listener, but it is also the responsibility of the listener to maintain eye contact with the speaker. And every now and then, while they are listening to the speaker, they should nod and smile for reassurance that yes, I am listening attentively. The next guideline for effective listening is always keep an open mind. Remember, listening is learning. Do not always assume that only your opinion matters or only your opinion is correct. You should have an open mind, let the other person speak and share their opinions and views and hear them out. The next guideline is do not interrupt, cut off, try to mind read, or assume. It is extremely disrespectful to cut someone off mid sentence just because you think you know what they are trying to say. Even if you do, it's highly, highly disrespectful to cut someone off. So do not interrupt anybody who is speaking to you. The next guideline for effective listening is try to listen between the lines and be sensitive to the speaker's emotions. Listen with ears, eyes, and heart wide open. Sometimes people who are speaking to us are unable to communicate completely what they are feeling or how they are feeling, especially children. So it is up to the listener to make sure that they are able to infer what the speaker is trying to say by their mood, through their emotions, through their body language, and read between the lines whatever they are missing with words. The next guideline for effective listening is ask the speaker to repeat themselves if you have missed out or haven't understood what they have said. So, once again, the responsibility of checking for understanding does not only lie with the speaker, it lies with the listener as well. So, if in case you think you have not understood the speaker correctly or haven't heard them properly, then you must ask them to repeat themselves so you may understand what they were trying to say. And a polite way of asking someone to repeat themselves is, I'm sorry, can you say that again? Or I'm sorry, can you please come again? Or pardon, can you please repeat that again? Now let's discuss guidelines for effective nonverbal communication. Remember, nonverbal communication is body language. The first guideline for nonverbal communication is look confident, respectable, and presentable. Remember, if you don't respect yourself, then you can't expect other people to respect you. So you must look respectable, look well dressed, and look confident yourself in order for other people to believe in you. The next guideline for body language is maintain eye contact while communicating with people, and we have already stressed on it twice in this video. Remember, when you avoid making eye contact with people, it's a sign that you are either nervous, you're not confident, or you are hiding something. The next guideline for effective body language is have pleasant expressions on your face. If you have a very serious dead look on your face, you can't expect to make friends or to attract people. So, in order to be a people person, to be a friendly person, to win people's hearts, you must have a pleasant expression on your face. The next guideline for effective body language is be mindful of your posture. Your body posture speaks volumes about yourself. So remember, if you are leaning against a wall or if you are leaning against a table constantly, if you are not sitting upright, if you are, just being lazy and if you are drooping all over the place, it does not reflect positively on your personality. The next guideline for effective body language is that small gestures can win hearts. So sometimes you don't even need to say a single word, but your actions actually speak louder than your words. For example, opening the car door or opening a door for someone, it's such a sweet gesture that it speaks volumes about your character. and also helping the elderly cross the street, or helping an elderly person with the shopping bags, or helping a lady with her shopping bags. These are just small gestures that go a long way. The next gesture is a firm yet friendly handshake speaks volumes. Remember, you don't want to break the other person's hand. Also, you don't want them to feel that you absolutely lack confidence. So remember, a nice, firm handshake and with a smile tells the other person that you are pleased to meet them. The next guideline for effective body language is keep a positive and friendly attitude. Remember, if you have a rotten attitude, if you feel negative about everything around you, then you will never attract positive people in your life. So far we have covered verbal communication, listening, and body language. The last type of communication that we are going to address in today's session is written communication. The first guideline for written communication is to be absolutely clear about what you are writing. If you are unclear about whatever it is that you are sitting down to write, it could be a reply to someone's email, it could be a letter, a formal letter, it could be a text message, whatever it is. If you are absolutely lost about what you should write or who your reader is, then you are lost. You must know what the topic is, what you're supposed to write about. You need to be absolutely clear about it before you even pick up the pen. The next guideline for written communication is to write down rough notes or points first. When you brainstorm ideas and jot them down on a piece of paper before you actually start writing, whether it is electronically or physically on paper, remember that it's the best idea to jot down rough points or notes first. Doing so brings clarity of thought to your writing before you even begin. The next guideline is to divide your text into paragraphs. Put yourself in the reader's position and imagine reading a piece of text that is pages long with no divisions of any paragraphs. It's a nightmare for a reader to read a piece of text that is not divided into clear paragraphs. However, there is no limit to how many paragraphs you may have in your writing. Just remember one important tip in your life. When one thought ends, one paragraph ends. When a new thought begins, a new paragraph begins. The next guideline is to keep it clear and simple. Provide language that is understandable, concise, and objective throughout. Remember, leaders keep communication clear and simple. That's the best way for everyone to understand what you are trying to communicate. The next guideline for effective written communication is to stay focused. Sometimes, when we get too excited, we get off topic. So, we must continuously remind ourselves to remain focused on the topic and not go astray and not write anything that is off topic. The best way to do so is to read each paragraph that you finish writing to make sure that you are writing on topic. The next guideline is to write in standard English. Especially if it is official communication or correspondence, then you must ensure that you use standard English. Standard English is the English that is internationally and globally recognized as proper standard English throughout the world. So try not to use contractions, colloquial jargon, or any such thing. The last guideline for effective written communication is to check your work. Not only should you proofread and check your spelling, punctuation, formatting, accuracy, and all of those things at least twice, but you should also make sure that you adhere to and follow the word limit. Sometimes word limits are given in writing topics, sometimes they aren't, but if there is a word limit, you should try your best to follow it. Remember, uh, any piece of writing that is full of errors reflects very poorly on the writer. So make sure that you want to give a positive reflection, a good reflection of yourself as a writer, then you should check your work at least twice before sending it. Thank you for joining me in today's adventure. If you like this video, then please subscribe and like and hit the notification bell. If you want to know more about me, then please check out my bio in the About section of my channel. If you want to contact me for conducting training sessions, then please send me an email at the email address shown on the screen.